Hey, this is Brimstone. You're watching AFK, away from the keyboard. Ain't no better place to be than right here watching now.
Gentlemen, welcome to the Lord of the Rings Hobbit panel. My name is Jerry Kingery from News 4 San Antonio, Fox San Antonio. Without further ado, let me introduce Adam Brown. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Sean Astin. Oh, too far, too far. Gentlemen?
Hobbits and dwarves sitting together, I don't know.
First of all, welcome to San Antonio and Alamo City Comic Con. How are you guys doing today?
Awesome.
Good.
Yeah, really good.
Are you enjoying your time here in San Antonio?
Yeah, it's amazing.
Sexy.
That is a pretty accurate.
No, I went for a run
description.
yesterday, and they were down by the river, and people. It was just. This is a sexy town. That's all I have to say about that.
It's a very nice river.
Yeah.
So, what are you two up to right now?
At the moment,
Well, I mean, in your
I'm trying to get the Hobbit theme song out of my head for a second.
It's been playing on a loop for the past like 12 years now.
Drummed into you. Yeah.
Yeah. Well. So actually, I had "What the Fox Says" in my head right before that.
I think we all do.
What does the fox say? That was a command performance right there. I just want you to know. First to see it. No, it's great. We were just sitting right next to each other at the autograph table and watching and meeting people and their families. And I just did a photo op session. I think we took like 50 pictures in 12 minutes. So it was fast but fun. It's like surfing people. Nice to see you, 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 nice to see you. It's pretty good.
Is it really nice to see all of them? Or?
Yeah.
Okay, great.
Definitely.
Good. And Adam, how about you?
Yeah, definitely. It was always good to kind of meet the people that are watching your stuff, you know, watching this.
And how far are we out from the desolation of smog?
So it comes out on the 13th of December.
Now, have you wrapped filming for all three films yet?
We have. We wrapped it in New Zealand possibly 2 months ago. So we had a wrap party in the blooper reel and got very, very drunk. And now the rumours are happening if we're going back again. But I don't know.
All right, are you ready to open up the floor to questions from the audience?
Hold on.
Okay.
We're ready.
We're ready.
All right, great. Questions for Sean Astin and Adam Brown, anyone? Sir.
My question is for Sean Astin. Do you still keep up with any of your former Goonies members, cast members?
Yes. Corey Feldman and I have become, these 27, 8 years, pretty comfortable interacting with each other and call each other and tweet each other and yeah, so I was a guest. I did a cameo in his music video that came out a little while ago. And so yeah, and everybody else, I haven't really seen everybody else for a long time. I think we all saw each other at a reunion photo. Wait till you get to the reunion photo stage. It's wonderful.
I'm not sure all of ours will last that long anyway.
No, the Hobbit's just going to slowly, quietly go into the night. Not so much. Anyhow, so yeah, you know, we love each other. Whenever I see them, it's hugs and talking, and, you know, if we're scheduled to do something together, it always takes, you know, 5 hours longer because we can't focus because we're catching up on each other's lives and stuff. So it's like that with Lord of the Rings too.
Thank you. Movies never die.
All right. Thank you, sir.
This one's a little more for Sean too. I just wanted to know, I know you get asked this a lot, but what's your favorite line from Lord of the Rings, and what's your favorite line from the Goonies that you just love to say over and over and over?
Because you do, obviously.
As I'm falling to sleep, there's some good in this world, Mr. Frodo. It's worth fighting for. And don't you guys see? Don't you realize? Chester Copperpot, he was a pro.
My fiance is partial to your reading of potatoes.
Do you know this? Have you seen this YouTube thing?
No.
Boil 'em, mash 'em, stick 'em in a stew. Boil 'em, mash 'em, stick 'em in a stew. Potatoes, potatoes. Somebody did a little mix of it, and it's more popular than the movies. I mean, everywhere.
But is it as popular as What Does the Fox Say?
What does the Vox say? I have a radio show called Vox Populi, so tomorrow there's a parody video coming.
Uh-oh.
What does the Vox say?
Oh, nice.
And I sing it.
I've got a tribute to Ori the Dwarf by Justin Bieber.
Wow.
Say, rather than baby, 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 oh, it's Ori, 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 oh.
I see that.
Very clever.
I see it. Yeah.
And then they put my face on an Oreo.
All right.
They're so clever.
great, thanks, I love you
Smoking
guys.
the long bottom leaf and coming up with songs.
Isn't the internet great? All right.
I picked this question because I was curious to see how your answers would differ or be similar, especially knowing that The Lord of the Rings has been done for 10 years and The Hobbit is actually still going. My question is, what is the biggest way that filming your trilogies has changed your life? And is there anything that you know now that you wish you had known at the beginning?
You can only answer the first half of it, I guess. Well, no, I mean, you went through the whole press tilt-a-whirl for the first one.
Yeah, that was madness. Just jumping on planes with your face on it. To be fair, my face is right by the emergency exit, but I'm still on a plane.
So in the event of emergency, they'll be coming out of your mouth or
Coming out
something?
of Ori's mouth, yeah.
I must say, for me, the first thing that comes to my mind is what happened to my consciousness during the publicity cycle, the releasing them and the awards cycle, and it was, you know, my parents are famous actors. John Astin, Gomez from the original Addams Family, and Patty Duke played Helen Keller in the Patty Duke Show. I've been acting at the Goonies. I was 12. It made $100 million. Never mind, I couldn't get elected to the school president the next year, but that's not important right now. But I had some experience with recognizability, and maybe, you know, after Rudy, maybe fame. I don't know about, you know, certainly after Encino Man there was celebrity, but nothing prepared me for what would happen when Lord of the Rings came out. And I fair lost my mind for a while. No fun. Fun, exciting, thrilling, crazy, and a little out of control. Not out of control like drinking or doing drugs or anything, but out of control. My mind was just, you know, I've always wanted to do a lot of different things. You know, you know, as a director, as a producer, as a writer, as a radio host, as a whatever, as a teacher, you know, I want to be involved in politics. I want all these different things. And all of a sudden, when Lord of the Rings came out, it was like, green lights, baby, whatever you want. It's right in front of you. And I didn't have any capacity to prioritize, so I tried to do all of it at the same time, and the fuse just kind of pops at a certain point. So, and then obviously the making of the films was the most extraordinary adventure, professional and personal, of my life. My wife and daughter were with me the whole time, and I've been fat and skinny, and so it could be something along those lines. Yeah.
Thank you.
All right, ma'am.
Hey.
Hey.
This is mostly for Adam. I saw a couple videos of like the Hobbit training camp.
The
thing
boot
on.
camp, yes.
Yeah. I wanted to know if you had any difficulties kind of doing any of the things.
I had a lot, but before The Hobbit, I'd never stepped foot into a gym. I didn't know what it was like to be sweaty. I don't think I'd ever been sweaty until The Hobbit. Yeah, no, it was madness. We did, I think similar to you guys, but we came out, flew out, and all of us did dwarf boot camp, which consisted of horse riding, stunt training, dialect lessons, singing lessons, horse riding, weapon training. I had a slingshot, so mine was quite easy. I went to the coffee shop down the road for that bit, but yeah, it was pretty weird. And I actually became I go to the gym now, thank you, Peter Jackson. I go to the gym. Hey.
Do you go inside?
Huh?
You go inside.
I go inside. I watch the.
You don't go to the
telly.
outside and have a coffee.
I watch the TV, then I go home. Yeah.
Yeah, I never did dwarf training. I'm a hobbit. Much the same. It was. I likened it to the golden era of. Thank you, sir.
That's okay.
You're supposed to sing that song, right? When you do that.
No way.
Oh, that's afterward when the plates.
No
That's
way.
my favorite part of that.
Learned skills as a waiter also, I see, in your film. I'm sorry, skills as a waiter, filling the drinks.
Sorry?
I'm sorry.
It's about
just forget it.
It's about
Yeah,
good
I'm not
dwarf
important over here.
hospitality.
I'm going to leave.
Don't.
Okay, I'll stay. Thank you.
Just be quiet. Kidding. No, I likened that period of time before the films to the golden era of Hollywood, when you would hear stories of Errol Flynn or Douglas Fairbanks or these classic, American film stars going, on the lot to an empty studio and having their tap lessons and have Danny Kaye and that kind of stuff. So it definitely felt like I was taking my place in that tradition. And Bob Anderson, who you didn't get to meet. Bob was the legendary sword master who taught Errol Flynn and Douglas Fairbanks and did the sword fight between Darth Vader and Obi-Wan Kenobi and the Princess Bride, that fight sequence, which was so great between Inigo and Wesley, and then we got him. He was quite old, but still very agile and wonderful, and so it was like we were just being touched by history a little bit. And then he passed, which is so sad, but he left a great legacy, and it's a bummer that you guys didn't get. Do you remember who you had? Did they brought a guy named Phil? He kind of picked up a sword once, or how did that? Phil, Tom, I don't know.
Glenn. Yeah, he was the master of it all. Do you know Glenn Moore?
English?
No, Kiwi.
I don't know if we worked together. I don't think we did. There's so many stunt people, It's weird. I wondered if you guys, what the biggest number of extras you had was at any time.
Yeah, we had lots.
Lots?
A lot of extras.
Hundreds?
Yeah. But probably not as many as you, actually.
Well, I was just thinking of Helm's Deep.
Yeah, no, you would have
like 700, people in those costumes for 6 weeks working all night long, and but then there were also a lot of computer-generated works and stuff. So, but goblins, we didn't really have goblins. I guess maybe we did in the Mines of Moria. Were those goblins? Well, you guys are all about the goblins, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry about that. Feel bad. Was it Goblin King?
The Goblin King, yeah.
I didn't like him at all.
Barry Humphries.
Jowly son. Oh, hey, I like him. But the jowly violence, I'm not so keen on with the heads rolling. I don't know. It's pretty good though.
All right, Batman.
This is a question for Sean. What's it like having wisdom and like you're Samwise, so you're telling Frodo to do something wise. So what's it like doing that with Frodo?
It's a great question. Maybe my favorite question ever asked. I think the key to leadership is doing by example. And Sam's value system, which is, very simple and very plain, very basic, happens to be very rooted in meaning, in value, to work, the farm, or to work as a gardener with your hands in the soil, to be together with friends, drinking ale, to be in love with another Hobbit, and at the end of the trilogy, make 15 Hobbit babies. The strength, and you use the word wisdom, and I guess that's an okay word, but the strength of his example by living out he knows that food is important. Sam knows that water is important. He needs to make sure that he can help make fire when it's time to cook for him. It's just very basic, simple things, and I think that earns you credibility. It makes it so that when you say something, somebody will listen to you. And it's really kind of cool at the end of the movies when Frodo's listening to Sam sometimes, because it's like they're in a war together. And even though Frodo is the boss, Sam always calls him Master Frodo, and it's sort of like an officer versus a sergeant. He's the boss. At a certain point, he realizes that he can't do it alone, and so he looks to what is essentially someone he loves and trusts and respects, his friend, and asks him for help. He needs help. So I think it's a fantastic question. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Adam?
Thorin.
Yes. How long did it take you to learn Kuzdul, the dwarf's language, and do you think we could hear some today?
Oh my gosh. Excuse me. I'm going to hide now. We did it in dwarf training, so it was part of the dwarf boot camp. We had a great dialect teacher called Leith. She was brilliant. And can I do any? Oh my gosh.
I think if you pull up the lyric on your phone and then hand it to one of these people, he'll read it from the phone. Is that better? Is that easier?
Maybe.
Maybe? Or he won't. He'll just take your phone.
Maybe you could read some. You could say something.
Do you know some?
Yeah.
Go on then.
Ni ikrit fund.
Ik big tooth.
No, ni ikrit fund. Never trust an elf.
She said, "I love you." I don't know what you said back to her.
Well, I'm more impressed about your knowledge rather than mine, so congratulations. Well done.
Thank you.
It's funny, I've learned more about certain lines of dialogue or Hobbiton or Elvish or whatever as a function of going to conventions.
Question?
Sean, how was it like working with Adam Sandler?
Well, I kept saying it was only protein shakes, and he was like, "You can't have that on a set." I was like, "Daddy, I'm sorry." Adam loved the character of Doug. He wrote it, sort of. I don't know if he wrote it, but he put a lot of himself, he's a producer of these things, and he put a lot of himself into it. So when we were filming, I would do something, and he'd be literally like bouncing up and down with excitement behind the monitor, and he'd say, "Try it like this, do it like that." And so I did, and I felt like I was his puppet. And he's a very good puppeteer.
That was a pretty great Adam Sandler impression there, by the way.
Right. Well, it's not quite as good as the Dwarfish. Is it Dwarvish? Dwarvish. Elves and dwarves. Okay.
All right, thank you.
That was awesome. Oh.
Bye, thank you. It was great. He's a great human guy and works really hard and keeps us laughing all the time.
Hi, my question's for Adam. Were there any scenes that y'all shot, I guess not spoilery scenes, that were cut from the theatrical release that you're hoping are going to be on the extended editions?
Yes, there's an extended version of us in the Great Goblin Cave, and there's also a extended version of us outside of the trolls, after we've come down from the spit, after turning on the spit, there's us getting changed back into our clothes, which is quite a funny scene, which I think will hopefully be in the extended edition, which I haven't seen yet, but it's out like next week, I think. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Go ahead.
What's it like running from the Dark Riders?
Say that again?
What's it like running from the Dark Riders?
What's it like running from the
Dark Riders.
The Dark Riders?
The ring wraiths, Nazgul, I think that's...
I know what we're talking about.
Okay,
I was just picturing when we did the Buckleberry Ferry sequence and it was really cold and it was dark out and my accent wasn't quite right, and Roisin Carty, who was our dialect coach, said to me after a take, she goes, Sean, that one went a bit, get down! It's like, and then we went running, and actually that day, one of the Nazgul riders, well, it wasn't the rider, I guess it was just his horse, fell into the water off of the dock and went up to its chest in the water and was really freaked out. And is it Doug, Randy, the stunt guy, just went up and slapped the horse, and it kind of shocked him back into his senses, and then he let him out of the water. But what is it like running from the Nazgul? Well, it's not like the Chicago Marathon I just ran, which was fun the whole time. Thank you for asking your question.
Thank you. Sir?
This question's to you, Sean Astin. I was a fan of the show 24, and you were on the 5th season. I just want to ask, how did you get that role, and what interests you in being that character?
That's a great story. Maybe the greatest story of me getting cast in anything. So, John Ratzenberger from Cheers, yeah, you doing this, Shirley boy? We had met at a celebrity fundraiser poker tournament, and then we live in Calabasas, my wife Christine and our 3 daughters, Allie, Elizabeth, and Isabella. And at one point I went to get Starbucks coffee or something, and my back was just killing me. I had a really bad back for a number of days, and I happened to see Rats out there. He said, hey, Shirley boy, how you doing? I was like, oh, Rats, my back is killing me. Oh, you need to see a chiropractor. And I was like, yeah, I guess I do. I've been sort of putting that off, but I suppose. He goes, that's why I'm here. I'm meeting with my chiropractor. I was like, really? He goes, yeah, his name's Spags. You're going to love him. Spagnoli. And so sure enough, a couple minutes later, up walks Joe Pesci looking guy. Hey, how you doing? Good to see you. What's going on? How you doing? What's going on? You all right? How you doing? How's your back? I heard your back isn't feeling good. You all right? I was like, yeah, my back really hurts. He, come on across the street. I got my office. Meet me there in an hour. I was like, okay. So I go over there in an hour. Now I'm a guy who's in physical pain. And I'm sitting it's a strip mall, and it's just a little office in the strip mall, and I'm sitting in the outer office, and Spag comes down the hallway, kind of yelling at me, hey, what, you like 24? A random, non sequitur question, do I like 24? And I had seen the pilot, which I loved, because I wanted to direct episodes of it, but then, I sort of was bummed out I didn't get to direct it, so I never watched the rest of it, and now I was in season, 4 or 5, and, but I said, of course, as anyone should, yeah, I love it. And he goes, great, you want to meet the creator? I was like, what? He goes, yeah, Joel, he's my buddy, come on in, come here, come meet Joel. I was like, okay. So I go walking down the hall, and he opens the door, he goes, hey, Joel, this is Sean Astin, he played Rudy. Sean, this is my buddy Joel. He opens the door, guy's in his underwear. face down on the table. And he looks up and he goes, hey, he goes, you want to be on the show? I said, I'd love to be on the show. He goes, great, you're on the show. I was like, I called my agent and I was like, who needs you? I'm gonna go hanging out in different, like, I'm gonna get a shiatsu massage and try and get on, you know, Glee or something. I don't know. So it was a great experience. My favorite thing was I didn't have to put on Hobbit feet. It was around the corner from my house. So I got to wear a suit and say, you know, smart things. And yeah, it was good. I mean, it really was. Sam doesn't really, I mean, we all focus on Sam's amazing dialogue scenes. You know, there's some good left in this world, Mr. Frodo, and it's worth fighting for. And so, but if in the span of 2 years, that's like this much on this one page of one script, and you're there for years, you know, and when you finally get to talk, you talk, and they're like, cut, great, we got it, and you're like, no, and you know, everyone leaves, they turn the lights off, and you're still doing your one line over and over and over again.
Oh my gosh.
You know, but on 24, I got reading pages and pages and pages, but every day I showed up, I had more dialogue, so I loved it. And I had also worked as a civilian aide to the Secretary of the Army for 10 years, and so I got to spend a lot of time with the national security folks at the Pentagon. And so when I was in that room, I was like, I've had these meetings. I know what these people are about. So it felt pretty cool to do that. And season 5 happened to be one that they finally won the best drama series. It had nothing to do with me. I'm just saying. They won. The producers sent out these great, like, congratulations things, and I was like, hey, hon, we got a thing. So anyhow.
Wow. All right. Thank you.
Long answer to a short question, sorry.
Go ahead.
My question was actually about 51st dates as well. Obviously you did the list, but how hard was it doing the list every single time you had to do a scene?
So there's this movie that Adam Sandler produced and starred in called 51st Dates with Drew Barrymore, and Drew Barrymore is injured in an accident before the movie starts, and so she has brain damage. She can't. She can remember things in her life, but she can't retain any new memories. This happens, and so, you know, basically every morning when she wakes up is like a fresh slate. So this guy, you know, Adam falls in love with her, and every day he's got to convince her again to fall in love with him. So it's kind of a beautiful story, actually. And we filmed it in Hawaii, the whole thing, and my favorite character was Rob Schneider's character. Hanale, come on, Hanale. Come on, Mumu. I'm just kidding, Mumu. When I auditioned for it, when I met with them, I didn't even want to go in on it because there was no part. Doug wasn't really even written in the script. It was he's like in the background. Her brother, Adam Sandler's brother, who I'll show you a picture when we get back to the tables, but it's mesh shirt, super tan, like spandex short, or whatever those shorts are that are like blue. Yeah, it's very, yeah, like that. Yeah.
I've got it, it's in there.
Okay, so anyhow, I went to meet with the producer and the director and the writer, and we had this great meeting, and it was a long meeting, and I was a little bit surprised because next door, it's on Sony Studios lot, next door they were doing the scoring session which is all the music. They had the orchestra there for, what is it called, Anger Management, and that Peter had directed as well. And they're just talking to me, and he needs to be in there sort of saying, you know, a little louder on this and a little quieter on that, and, you know, bring the music cue up, and he's there talking to me. So I felt like a big shot. And then at the end of the meeting, he's like, okay, well, we can't hire you without a videotape. You've got, just go home, put yourself on videotape and send it in. We want you so badly, but Adam is not here, and so we just have to see what you do. And I wasn't going to do it, but then I said, okay, I'll do it. And then they said to me, and we're thinking about going with a lisp. And I was like, man, I had no sense of humor. The funniest movies I've been in, I didn't get that they were funny at the time. I'm just like an idiot. But anyhow, I got home, and then I wasn't going to do it because I had to get back up to Canada where I was directing the show and stuff, and my wife just said, go do it now. I'm like, the car's coming, I gotta go to the airport. She goes, do it now. Okay. So I go out, and I get this really big clapboard, this, you know, take two, that kind of a thing, slate. That you get as a novelty thing, and I brought that out, and then I put my hat on backwards and my sunglasses on, and I put on a Carhartt jacket, and I was treating him more like a hick than what he became. And I did it a couple of times, and it was okay. It was okay. And my buddy came over too to film it, and my wife was there, and I just thought, okay, I'll try the lisp. And I did the lisp once, and it was like, there's no other way to do this. There's just no other way to do it. It doesn't work without it. So it was fun. It was easy to do. I happen to have a lisp in my repertoire, though it's not really an issue. Can you do it?
But a bit of a lisp.
A bit of a lisp.
But just a tiny one.
With a bit of an English affectation, I find it quite alluring.
Your question, ma'am?
So I was at the Star Wars panel a little bit earlier, and they were talking about the pros and cons and kind of the dedication that you have to go into when you're starting a franchise and you actually plan to go through it. And Sean, you've been in it for over 10 years, and you just started, Adam, and I was wondering if y'all were curious or even interested in maybe going through that sort of dedication and the pros and cons of everything for another franchise.
Yeah. It was weird because we came onto the set doing The Hobbit with the fantastic work that these guys had done, and that was almost kind of like another added kind of pressure than just realizing. And also, we didn't realize we were doing a franchise at the time. We just thought we were doing 2 movies, and then during shooting, it became 3 movies. But no, it's been fantastic. I mean, it's been a lot of work, and 2.5 years of my life. I've pretty much been down in New Zealand. I've come home a bit, and that's a real hard thing to do, saying goodbye to your friends and your family and heading to the other side of the world. But would I do it again? Yes, I would, definitely. It's been incredible. It's fantastic, like having you guys there, because you just remind me all the time, going, oh, and that bit you did. I was like, oh my gosh, yeah, that scene. Oh, I remember that scene, and it's kind of a constantly remembering it, and I think that's a great thing. Like, it's been the most fantastic experience of my life being down there, and I'm glad that I'm reminded by doing things like this and seeing you guys about it. So I would definitely do it again. Yeah, definitely.
We were talking earlier, and Lord of the Rings is a trilogy, and I guess The Hobbit will be a trilogy as well. But what do you call 6? Is it a saga? Is it what is it? I don't know.
We need to think of a good name.
I think a saga works. A saga works.
Not really. We're not like Buck Rogers across the 21st century. It's like, what else?
They call Star Wars a saga, and that's 6 movies.
Right, that's why I don't like saga for Lord of the Rings, because Star Wars has that one camped out. So what are we going to do? Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit.
The 6-pack.
The 6-pack. That's exactly right.
The 6-pack.
That's exactly right. Orlando Bloom is the spokesperson for the entire 6. Yeah.
Your question?
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Hi.
I was wondering, what acting is like for y'all, and what advice y'all have for future actors and actresses. I think that's how
Finally,
you
local
say it.
patois. What is acting like for y'all? For y'all. I forgot why I was in San Antonio for a second. What? Yeah, you go.
It's a stupid profession. And I kind of have done it too long to change now. I always think, it's too late for me to be a doctor now. It's too late for me to train and do something else. No, it's something that I guess if you want to do it, you will do it. You'll have no money for a long time, and then you'll have a bit of money, then you'll have no money, and if you can live like that, then hooray, and you're an actor. But it's also, you get to meet incredible people. You become so close with the group of people that you're working with, and then it's the next project, and then you're so close with those group of people. What do you think?
First, I would agree with everything you just said. I would think, for me, anytime I try and answer the question that that broadly. What is acting like? What does it mean to be an actor? You know, I can't help but think of it in terms of context. You know, if you were a caveman and you went on a great hunt and you killed your prey and you bring it back and everybody, you know, that you prepare the food and you eat it and that's all done and the function of survival has happened and it's nighttime, you know, it gets what now? And then, you know, those of us who weren't quite as good at the hunt are looked at because we can do funny voices and we can tell stories and we can role play, reenact the kinds of events and experiences that happen in everyday life. And you know, people in their life, they don't necessarily live with drama. I mean, maybe drama in a you know, life, somebody's got to go to the hospital, this kind of thing. But the purpose of acting, the purpose of making of writing plays and performing is to create an experience for the audience. And the Greeks call it catharsis. So, you know, if you see a certain play, I did Rudy, and people come up to me all the time, I cry so hard when I watch Rudy, and big football players are like, dude, I cried in that movie. And you realize that what you're doing is you're helping on some level, if it's humor, if it's drama, in terms of these worlds that have been created, our you know, ability to help access the ideas and the space of it. But really what you're doing is you're unlocking something within people. You're unlocking the ability to cry. You're facilitating joy and fear if you're into a horror movie or Walking Dead or whatever. You know, Walking Dead. Sorry, I like the Walking Dead guys. But anyhow, so that's it. It's like you're participating in a generations-long tradition, and I feel like it's my job to try, through the silliness of it, to you know, to remember that.
On that note, we've got to wrap it up. Before we dismiss here, we've got a drawing for a great. It's a.
I have a thing I like to do. Can I? Oh, they walked away. One thing I like to do is like cap the line of the questions and then have everybody just ask their question, and then at the end of it, if there's anything we think we can respond to for a second, is that a bad thing to do?
Got some time?
That way, everybody who stood up and waited in line, it was
real quick.
Okay, go and alternate between real fast, not long questions.
I was just wondering, did you really keep account of when you had to wear the Hobbit feet and they didn't film you?
Yes. Next.
I was just wondering how you would feel if they did a remake of the Goonies.
Remake, I'm not so sure. Sequel, good. Next.
I get the idea now.
Did you guys ever sing the Bilbo Baggins song by Leonard Nimoy, just for the sake of doing it on the set?
Not yet.
No.
Next.
When y'all were debating on who would take the ring to Mordor, why couldn't y'all have taken the Eagles with just Frodo hanging on?
Next.
How was it like filming the Lord of the Rings?
Perfect. Next.
Sean, which do you prefer, acting or directing?
Ooh. Next.
This question is for both of you. Did you guys have to read the books before shooting the films?
No.
But we did anyway. Yeah.
What was it like working with Benedict and Martin for Adam?
Brilliant and insane.
Okay.
Sean, can you still flex your pecs like you did in 50 First Dates?
Better.
Adam, do you like green food? Do you like green food?
No. Chips.
Fish and chips.
In our family, Sam is the true hero of The Lord of the Rings. And if it had been us, we probably would have thrown Frodo into the fire hard. Do you think Sham got the shaft of being the true hero?
Yes.
It's flattering, but not true. Okay.
What was your favorite moment when you were filming The Color of Magic?
Filming the what?
The Color of Magic?
Oh, Color Magic.
Yeah.
Arguably my favorite role ever, next to Sam, Rudy, Goonies, and 20 others. But I loved it. I absolutely loved it.
What's your favorite souvenir you have from the Lord of the Rings movie? Souvenir.
Oh, from Lord of the Rings. Well,
yeah.
I'm sure you got a Hobbit one. Quick.
My slingshot.
How about you, Sean?
My backpack.
What was it like for working with Brendan Fraser and Pauly Shore in Encino Man? Possibly one of my favorite
Video
movies.
games with Pauly Shore. And, video games with Brendan. And, I don't know, Pauly Shore apparently tweeted me a little bit ago, so I'm going to hold off and tweet him back today, and I'll let you know. Is that it? That's it. There you go. Everybody got to ask a question.
We've got a drawing for a World of Warcraft statue from Sideshow Collectibles. Gentlemen, if one of you would be kind enough to draw a ticket, in charge.
Current franchisee, Adam gets to pick. That made you sound like a McDonald's.
The winner is ticket number 450690. 450690.
Hey, I have one other thing to say, everybody. Raise your hand if you got one of my flyers out there. Okay, so what it is I have a radio show. People always ask me, what are you doing next? I have a radio show called Vox Populi, Voice of the Occasionally Interested People, and it's about politics and government, but the difference is everybody from all sides calls, we get into the show, but people have to speak with respect and courtesy. And that way we don't try and persuade each other, but we get to discover and learn and express ourselves. And right now we're trying to get an app for the show, and it's expensive, so you can go to that startthevox.com and you can back my show for $3 or 10,000 or anything in between. There's great little rewards you get. So it would mean a lot to me. It would mean a lot if you guys would get on your phones, go to Start the Vox, and back my show. I only have 3 days left to make my goal. I love you. Thank you very much. That's my pitch.
One more time, the winner, 450690. 450690. Come claim your prize. And everybody please exit to the right. Please give a warm San Antonio round of applause to Adam Brown and Sean Astin.